It's a good idea.
Hey Steve, just so you know, I was just told that YouTube's not showing up. I'm still recording. Still trying to see why it's not showing up.
I'm not showing up?
No, the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
It's a major problem if you're not showing up.
Yeah. I hear a motion to approve the vouchers.
I'll make a motion to approve the vouchers.
I will second that.
Been moved and seconded, we approve the two vouchers. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passed. They're signed. Checks are signed.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes with necessary amendment for October 16th, 2023.
Been moved, do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded, approve the minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. That motion is passed. We have a letter of support here. The Sherman County Board of Commissioners would like to express their support for the transportation van to the city of Goodland. It's a great service for the community, and if have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Do we need a motion on this?
I'll make a motion to sign the letter of support for the transportation van for the city of Goodland.
Is there a second?
I'll second that, but I do have a question. Is there any way we can make that county-wide instead of just city?
We'd have
I've heard people who live outside the city who need rides and they will not come get them. Like if they're out at Paxton, that's out of city limits, they won't come and get them.
interesting question.
I think that just from what I know, I mean, your brunt of your rides are going to be in town.
Right.
And that's what kind of all this started years ago. You know, the outflux of county is going to be such a small percentage. And then you get into the deal going across county lines into Colby and whatnot, and there's all kinds of stipulations.
But I heard, though, that most of the counties around us, they will take people from a county line to a county line if they meet somebody. So like, and I know this is just an example, if we have someone who doctors over in Colby, okay, Colby bus will pick them up at the Thomas County line, but they can't get to the Thomas County line from here.
Right.
And I know we don't necessarily want people to go over to Colby, we would prefer them to use our own facility here, but if they're doing that, and people need rides over there, it seems like we could accommodate that a little bit. And I know we don't control that, I know it's under the city control, I just was kind of curious if that could be expanded.
Because it would. I will get in contact with Mr. Brown and see if there's anything that can be done.
Okay.
Ask questions on that. We have the fire board minutes. Read them.
Kudos to the guy on the fire board that chose the font size.
You like that, the way you don't have to? He's one of our age.
It becomes important.
It's just that you can't read, it's not, your arms aren't long enough, so.
That's right.
And you had stated earlier that, that 2 trucks are kind of way over our budget now.
Way over the budget. Yeah, I looked at them last night. They were up at 75,000 a piece. And that was at 8 o'clock last night.
So they got all day today, don't they?
I didn't look what time, but yeah, they got at least this morning.
Okay. I have a bid here from Marty's Electric for putting LED lights in kitchens. They consist of three breakdowns. Change the lights of $952. Kitchens, 8-foot strips of LED bulbs, $440, and the south kitchen, 4 drops of LEDs for $540, a total of $1,932.
I would make a motion to accept the bid from Marty's Electric for $1,932 for lighting at
Okay.
the 4-H building.
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded, we accept the bid from Marty's for $1,932. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion is passed. Let the light shine upon us. We have a list of the holiday, as is the state of Kansas for 2024.
So there's a list for what we usually do, and then there's a list of what the state does. So they don't do Christmas Eve, but they do Juneteenth. We have not done Juneteenth, but we have done Christmas Eve. So it's which one. The way, if we include Christmas Eve and they have Juneteenth, it's even numbers of days.
Right.
Do we automatically give the employees the Friday after Thanksgiving off?
Yes.
Okay. Yep, I see it here.
I don't see any conflicts. I would stick with what our schedule is.
That's what I agree.
I agree with that
Need a
too.
motion? I entertain a motion to approve the schedule as actually presented.
I will so move.
And I will second it.
And moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion is passed. We have an amendment for the Topside Manor to continue the lease for another year of paying the $1,200 for the year, and then the balloon payment comes January of 2025. This is for the 2022 transit van. The balloon payment is $62,815.50. $814.50, excuse me.
Make a motion to approve the amended lease purchase agreement for the van and topside banner.
Was it my understanding that balloon payment was due this January?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
no, we're waiving that. Okay, I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. We extend the lease of the county, or the topside manor van. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion is passed. You want today's date?
Yes.
Mr. Luke isn't here yet, so.
He was trying to fit us and Rooks County, so he might be a little late.
Okay.
So.
Did you guys find any changes on the personnel handbook?
I didn't, but I noted. But I read right through it. That's,
Yeah. Okay. Let's see, 2, 3, we're on 3, I guess.
we're doing parts 3 and 4.
3 and 4 now. On section 4, it'd be 3-4. Right above that, it says unreported absences of 3 consecutive work days will be considered a voluntary resignation of employment by the employee. Is that just something we came up with, or is that like a statute, or?
I think it's just a general.
So the guy could be gone 2 days, and then come back a day, and then take 2 more days off. You see what I'm saying? It's like, it's kind of open for, I don't know. I mean, I just noticed, I thought it looked weird.
The quantity or?
Yeah, I mean, it's 3 consecutive days. It's like, if somebody's going to abuse their time, they're not going to do 3 days, they're going to do 2, come back a day. So is there any way to, I don't know, maybe it's not a problem, but.
Do you want unreported absences in general is considered?
Well, to me, yeah.
Okay.
Because if they're not reporting that they can't come to work, we have a problem anyway.
I mean, that's insubordination right off the bat. And they're not reporting into their supervisor. Yeah, I wouldn't give them 3 days to yank us around like that.
Okay.
So we'll just take the 3 days out of there and just put unreported absences. Will be. Okay.
Is that the discretion of the supervisor on,
Well, you can end it that way, at the discretion of the supervisor, I guess.
because let's say, if we have it in there of any unreported absences.
That you're gonna be fired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you have it under the discretion of supervisor, okay, I have an emergency come up at midnight and went to, the hospital or something, they flew us out.
Yeah, I get it.
Very good.
Door's sticking. Yeah.
At the discretion of the supervisor?
Yeah.
K-Cam's on the phone.
Okay.
About to be transferred in.
Okay.
They'll just push the green.
It's got to ring first or just push it?
No, it has green first.
I'm saying you're anticipating, Today, we use the long distance, rotary dial, and he's having to redial. Switchboard operator missed the whole. Good morning, County Commissioners.
Good morning, this is David Luke with K-Camp. How are you?
We're doing fine, sir. We've got our other two commissioners, Mr. Swiger and Mr. Blake, and myself, Steve Everett here.
All right, thank you. Thanks for letting me join in.
What can we do for you?
Well, we had sent a letter out on the property coverage for the hospital, and I think Ashley shared that with you, and she, I'd offered, and she thought it'd be a good idea if I just let you know I was available to answer any questions about it, or but I can give a quick overview of that if you have a few minutes.
If you would, please.
Sure. So, basically what we're communicating is that, this property reinsurance market that we are in is it's certainly unprecedented in my career. I've been doing this for almost 30 years, and it's just been, it's been very challenging. And part of that is, we always think of, well, let me explain, just quickly. So the pooling layer, when we talk about K-Camp and the pool, the risk you are sharing on the property side is the first $350,000 of a loss. So anytime any county has a loss that's under $350,000, that's what we're paying out of the pool. And that's the risk you're sharing with the other members. So it's pretty limited, right? But then we buy reinsurance above that layer because, obviously we could have losses much higher than that. And we don't want to take on all that risk, right? It's just too much. So we go out in the market, we buy reinsurance. We are in a program called County Reinsurance Limited, CRL, which is a pool of pools. So we're in that reinsurance program with other county pools around the country, Nebraska, Texas, Oklahoma, et cetera. And both the K-Camp program is doing fine. CRL, we hit CRL as a member of them with a number of large convective storm losses, wind hail losses, as you can imagine. So we, over the last several years, and even including this year, we've had some large wind hail losses. So that's a little bit of a challenge, but we can even weather that. What's happened though is, now we as Kansas have not hit the reinsurance market above that, because CRL is buying reinsurance from London and Bermuda, which is very common. All commercial carriers do. But that's the market that's gone kind of crazy. And part of the reason is what we typically think of as large loss leaders like earthquake or hurricanes that we read about in the news, those have been significant. But what the reinsurance market calls secondary perils, like fire and wind and hail, have been huge in the last several years. And so what's happened is it's caused a lot of reinsurers to just leave the market altogether. They don't even want to, participate. And so that, of course, drives up, now you have more limited supply, so that drives up pricing. And the other ones that have remained are saying, look, we're not collecting enough premiums, so they're raising rates substantially. So K-Camp's costs went up. Our property reinsurance went up 86% this last year, almost double. And that's really what's driving our pricing increase this next year. So that's just sort of my background. Along those lines, so then the reinsurance market came back and said, look, we don't really want hospital risk. We don't want it. They have too large losses and we're not willing to underwrite it. So within the CRL program, we're going to have to move the hospitals out into some other program. What our reinsurer, CRL, is willing to do is write the hospital for the first 6 months of next year. Hope things calm down a little bit, and then we'll try to place the hospitals into a new program as of July 1. It's probably going to be a higher deductible program than what the county pays. It's going to be probably a higher rate. And it'll be a separate coverage document, separate, reinsurance policy altogether. We're also going out to the market to see if we can find an alternative that would be where we would write the hospital separately, but it would be for a full year. So I'm looking at that currently. In fact, I just got off a call on that topic. So it's just a crazy market. And, just so you know too, we only write 5 of the county hospitals in the state. So we don't, most of our members have never asked us to cover their hospitals and the property, the property side. And that also limits us because when you're small and you're going to market, you don't have a lot of leverage. And so with only 5 hospitals, I don't have a lot of leverage to, get carriers to do what we want them to do. So that's just another challenge. But so I wanted to be transparent. I wanted to communicate this early. You certainly have the option to go and say, well, we're going to try to find coverage for our own hospital. But, what I will say is you've got coverage. You're going to have coverage easily through June 30. And my plan is that we'll come back to you in like April and May and say, okay, here's what the coverage program would be for the hospital going forward, starting 7/1.
But it's probably going to be a good idea. I mean, I like that to proceed that way. But at some point, we probably better start thinking about looking on our own. Is that kind of the message?
I don't know that. Normally I would say yes, but I don't know that that's going to be beneficial to you because, again, the smaller, what we call TIVs, total insured values, when I can wrap up 5 hospitals, I've got 200 million of insured values for the market to look at. Yeah. They'd rather see that than you go to them with your, I have to look up your TIVs, but it's probably like 10 million, right?
Yep.
Yes.
They're not going to be impressed. And they're going to say, well, wait a minute, you want us to cover you for a tornado or for a major hailstorm, and you've only got 10 million in values? I can't charge you enough premium for that. Because that's what we're running into with our 200 million. I thought that would be enough to move the needle, but it's, we're running against some headwinds. So I think you're in a safe place because, again, you're covered through the rest of the year, you're covered through the first 6 months, and we're going to hold our reinsurance feet to the fire. So by April, May, if it's looking bad, you'll still have time to market at that point. And that's what I guess I would encourage you to do. Let's just sit tight, you'll actually have better coverage with us the first 6 months of the year, because if you go out on your own, you're going to have to retain a lot of risk.
Yeah.
And that's not going to be a good deal. But and maybe things calm down too between now and then. So I would recommend, and this is my recommendation, I understand I'm biased, but I would honestly recommend everybody just sit tight. Let's let the market calm down a little bit. Let's get to April, May, see what our reinsurer has to propose, and then I can give you some hard numbers, and then you can decide, no, we think we can do better on our own. I will probably doubt that you can just because of your size, but that's just what I would recommend.
No, that sounds reasonable.
Okay. And I'm probably over communicating, but I don't want to come to you in December and say, oh, we're only covering your hospital for 6 months. You would have been like, what is going on? So.
Yeah, no, we appreciate it.
Well, we really appreciate your membership, and I'm happy to come out. In fact, when we get this going here in the spring, I will come out and present those numbers to you in person,
Okay.
and we can have a more thorough discussion.
Yep, sounds good.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Well, thank you for your time this morning.
You bet. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.
Okay, well, sounds like the insurance market's like everything else. Higher and higher.
Nuts.
Forbes is on the line. Maria will transfer them in.
Yeah. Sherman County Board of Commissioners, Steve.
Hi, Steve. This is Vince Cummings with four of us. Also have Alex on the line, who I believe you've spoken with before.
Okay.
Yep, good morning.
Well,
Good morning, both Commissioner Swager, Commissioner Blake are with us also, so.
Sounds good.
So what's on our agenda?
Let's see. Who called the meeting?
We just asked for an update on it.
We're just asking for an update on our
on the audit
audit.
thus far.
Okay.
Just,
Well, we just received the last round of documents, so we still have a little bit of work to do to finish up what was in our scope in our engagement letter or contract. We got those in, I think, actually sent those over late Thursday, actually, and we just haven't had a chance to pick them up and look at them in too much detail just yet. So when we get those checked in and verified and put into our work plan, then I think we're going to be about ready to wrap this up. Thus far, we have not found anything that would suggest we need to recommend any further steps, but don't forget, we've got to get through this last round of documents to make that determination for sure.
right. Good. Well, we just hadn't heard anything. This has gone on, quite a while, and we thought it'd be good to touch base with you guys and
Yes.
see how things are going. And it sounds like everything's going well.
Well, I think so. I think it's laying itself out exactly like what was in the press, and we've watched some videos of your special commissioner meeting, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes.
And we have seen nothing that differs from that. Of course, a lot of the steps in our scope was looking for things that were unknown that might have made the problem a little bigger than what you already know. But
Correct.
like I said, we haven't seen anything yet, but we still need to get through these supporting documents that we just know.
All right. Very, very good.
So I think in the end, when we get through those and wrap this up, then we will present an oral report to you, and then we have some bulleted just kind of summarized via bullet points so we don't spend a lot of time putting a huge report together, which I think was the original plan of the contract. And I think, I don't know, Alex, what do you think? Another couple of weeks just to get through those and then call you guys to schedule another meeting for the oral presentation. Does that sound about right? Yeah, I think towards the end of November, early December, definitely. Be doing it.
Okay,
That sounds fun.
sounds good with us.
Okay. And I think that's, we don't have anything else to report unless you guys do.
No,
No,
I just say continue on and we'll get this thing wrapped up.
Yes. Okay. Well, we'll continue to work with Ashley then, including when we're done, having her help us schedule the next call, and we'll go from there.
All right, very good.
very good, thank you.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. You bet.
Thank you.
Well, that's good that nothing's getting out of place.
Right.
Is there anything else?
Rochelle.
Yeah. She's the door watcher today.
There's a couple things I might bring up. At our last head department meeting, we did go over emergency management a little bit. And one thing that did come up that we need to do is we need to have kind of a workshop with the city commissioners. We all know that we hope we never have a disaster, but just in case we do, we need to kind of be on the same page with each other. And, we talked about if, for example, if we're planning on using the fairgrounds and the city's planning on using the fairgrounds, there may not be enough room there and we need to coordinate with each other a little bit. So it was brought up, and so I think we need to set up a workshop with them just to go over our disaster plans to make sure we're ready just in case, which we hope we never have to use. That was one thing. Also had the opportunity to meet with Northwest Tech coaches and met some of the players, and I asked them, as far as a county, what we could do for them, and the very first thing they said was they just want the people of the county to come out and watch and participate. And they said anything that we could do to help promote that, they would appreciate. And the other thing that the kids brought out is they wish they had other things to do in our community, like a bowling alley or funplex or something like that, because there's not a lot for them to do when they're in our community. So I thought I'd bring that up. If somebody wanting to do a business, that would be something that I know the youth would like to, in our community. But those are just two things.
Okay.
Did Mr. Murray have a disaster training here? I know you have in Cheyenne County where the courthouse was closed and you moved to the Wolf building.
Yeah, so that was like, in Cheyenne County, they did a fully operational, we just did a tabletop, so we just
Okay.
talked through it. But yeah, it was a full situation of a full 24 hours, so yeah, it was good.
Good. All right. Anything else? Rachel?
Rochelle, come on up.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
I enjoyed that drill that we did last week. I wish my other counties would do that. When something happens, it's always better to be prepared
Yes.
than to try to on-the-job training while you're doing a disaster. I just wanted to let you guys know that it's time of year where we're going to be driving by every property in the county. So if people say they see us out and about, and we're, if we can see, we're starting out in the county, we're started on the south end. If we can see, someone's property from the road, we just look at it from the road, but the ones that sit farther back, so we basically drive through their driveway and then drive out. So people tell you that they see us, that's what we're doing. We're doing our annual drive-bys.
Yep.
So what do you look for?
Well, we're setting values for 2024. So we're just kind of looking at to see if anything's changed, whether it's there's something new or if there's something that's destroyed.
So if I make my property look like it's destroyed, will my value go down?
If it looks like you,
Try and see what happens.
I mean, for example, last year, if we wouldn't have driven by the properties, there was a house that actually had a fire that nobody told us about. So if we wouldn't have driven by, we wouldn't have known, and we would have been valuing a house that wasn't there. Yesterday in another county I'm in, we found a house that we didn't know about. So you just don't know what you're going to find. With Kansas weather, a lot of people think we're just out there looking for new stuff to add their value, but Kansas weather, a lot of times buildings are damaged, and the only way we know is by driving by and seeing this. We only physically go on the property to check our measurements and stuff every 6 years, but we do an annual drive-by every year. So, yeah. So.
I was just curious.
Yep, yeah. Yeah, I actually know of a person that has his house on the outside that looks like it's unlivable and it's gorgeous on the inside. And why you'd go to all that trouble for the county appraiser, I don't know, but it happens, So yeah, we're hopefully weather permits. We're gonna try to get the county done first, and then we'll get our cities done. So we have 6,400 real estate parcels, so. It takes a while to drive by all those properties in time for the March 1 valuation notice.
Yep.
So,
Have to drive fast to get by them all.
So, yeah. And then if I could have 15 minutes for executive session to discuss non-elected personnel, please.
Okay.
We'll so move.
Who all you need? Just commissioners?
Brett.
And Brett,
Yeah.
okay. I have a motion to have a second for 15 minutes.
I'll second that.
And moved and seconded, we'll go into executive section for non-elected personnel for 15 minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passed. Go into executive session. Meeting will come back to order, please. Is there anything else, Rob, we need to go?
Oh, let's just see, okay.
I kind of read through 4 and 3, but with all the leave, I was kind of just left it alone. I figured you guys had covered that before, and I didn't think of anything different that.
Ashley,
Yeah.
this is just a question.
Yeah.
Okay, on section 7, 3, it's in 3-5, but it's section 7. Lost or stolen payroll checks. Is everybody in the county ACH, or is there manual? There's manual checks to
There's
a
a couple.
bunch of people.
A couple.
Oh, just a couple?
Mhm.
Okay.
Can you mandate direct deposit now?
I don't think so.
I doubt it.
You don't.
Okay. I actually had this instance happen to me once.
You lost your check?
Apparently, well, yeah, they said I hadn't cashed it. And, the money I was, no, this was 30 some years ago. And the money I was making, I guarantee you I cashed it. There's no way I could have not. But they issued me another check at the end of the year. So I don't suppose they would have had to.
No.
All right, let's see here. Section 1 of 3-8. I don't know how big a deal it is in here, but it doesn't say anything about the county pay plan in this paragraph. They're talking about annual reviews, and I think we just need to tie, raises, make it understood there's a county pay plan.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, that didn't exist when this existed.
Huh?
The pay plan didn't exist when this policy.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that needs to be in there. And also on section 2, be the next paragraph. It says performance reviews, but are within the county's sole discretion. It probably should be inserted in there based on the county's pay plan. I don't know. Might want to look at that.
Okay.
Maintenance of personnel records. Is it required by every department head to bring a copy of personnel records to HR? And I mean everybody.
It is supposed to be. That is the rule of thumb.
Right. Okay.
You want it in that section?
Well, I do. I mean, I think it needs to be very clear that it's not optional. It's like for your department head, I know it's a lot of paperwork, extra stuff, but that's fine.
Okay. Basically, that the official record are these.
Yep. Because I've heard of instances, not with the county, but there have been times where personnel records have been messed with and pages missing, and, so I think we didn't really enforce that. That would correct it. Now we're in section 4. Let's make sure I know what I'm talking about here. 4-2, section 6, paid for unused accrued vacation leave upon termination. I'll read down through here. When an employee voluntarily terminates employment and provides at least 2 weeks advance notice to the county and works during this time, the employee shall be paid for all of his or her unused or accrued vacation leave. We kind of went through this a while back. If you're an employee, you come to me, and we've had problems, and you're disruptive or whatever, you come to me and you give me 2 weeks notice. Okay, you did your due diligence. You gave me 2 weeks notice. I, as a department head, don't have to accept you working for me for 2 more weeks. You'll get paid, but you're not going to be working here.
Right.
So I guess we need to put something in here, unless released by supervisor at time of notice, maybe, so that they understand, yeah, I'm letting you go today, but you gave me 2 weeks notice and you'll be paid, and then you will get paid your unused, all of your unused time.
Okay,
I don't have to let you work 2 weeks, I guess is what I'm saying.
okay, then what about the other part of it? Do they have to work that entire 2 weeks?
If we needed to reword that instead of just working during that time, basically fulfills that 2 week period. You know, because there was a question the way that,
Right.
okay, if you work one day,
One
during
day.
that
You
2 week
work an
period.
hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You work during that time.
Okay.
So you wanted to say fulfills, provides at least 2 weeks advance notice to the county and fulfills this time unless
Unless,
released by supervisor at time of notice.
I like that.
Okay.
Yeah. That'll just clean it up. I mean, there won't be any question. And I think that's all I've seen. No.
The vacation time.
Yeah, the vacation time thing. Now explain that again.
Okay, so section 4.2 vacation, section 5. So it says carryover of vacation leave. At the end of each calendar year, an employee may carry over up to 75% of the amount that was accrued in the previous 12-month period. Carryover of vacation leave will take place automatically without any action required by the full-time employee. So there's different rates of accrual based on your years of service. There's a maximum accrual, and then there's a 75% of the maximum carryover. They have to be down to that 75% by that last payroll of the year, or else they lose whatever's above that 75%. So we have departments that need people here in this last quarter, we'll say, that they can't lose those people using that time now. So
Right.
they are asking that we remove that 75% carryover. I don't know why it was ever put in place. I don't see a reasoning for it. Because they're gonna lose whatever's over the 100%.
Yeah.
So there's still an incentive to use it.
Right.
Exactly. You just don't want to be up against the wall like this time of year.
Right.
Right, and so you got 2 weeks vacation time you gotta use,
But I need you.
but I need you to go grade the roads or
Right.
the snow's blowing,
Yeah, I
whatever.
need you to remove snow.
No, I can't think of any repercussions for removing that. I mean, I think it's good. I don't know. What do you think, Harvey?
I'm trying to think of why do they only get 75% carryover?
That
You
makes,
don't know.
that makes sense. I don't know. I would say, take it out.
Agree with you.
I mean,
Are you guys okay with removing that effective immediately so that
Yes.
we aren't in that situation before
Yes.
this gets revised and adopted? Are we okay with removing that effective immediately for this year?
I think
Okay.
so.
in favor of that.
Here's your motion and vote on that.
Rather write the motion, I take it. Motion before the floor would be that we remove the 75-cent accrual and make it 100%.
Right.
Effective today.
Effective today. I'll make that motion.
And I will second it.
Been moved and seconded that we change it from 75 to 100% effective August 31st. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is passed. That cleans that up.
Yes. Thank you.
That's all I have flagged.
So basically, we're just saying they won't lose any of their leave if they don't use it.
They will anything above 100%.
Yeah.
But not the 75%.
Right. There was one more thing here. Hold on. And this is probably.
We haven't
nothing I
adjourned
can-
yet, so we're still here.
Well, I'm glad because it's in leave policies. Somewhere. Well, in your book, it's on page 43. And I guess I just wanted some clarification as to what I was even looking at here. On E, subpart E, healthcare provider. And it goes into, talking about x-rays and whatnot. And down here, it says, or physician assistant who is authorized to practice under state law is performing within the scope of their practices under the state law. Parentheses, Christian Science practitioner listed with the First Church of Christ Scientist in Boston, Massachusetts. Why is that in there?
I don't know. Let me go
But
back.
that's the original headquarters and everything else.
I'm just asking for explanation.
So that's tied in with the FMLA, it's definitions from the FMLA.
Okay.
So that's a federal deal, and so if it's a federal definition, then we have to keep it in there. But I will check on that.
Okay.
Okay.
That's all part of FMLA.
It just stuck out as being
Yeah.
kind of strange. Boston, Massachusetts.
It's like saying New York City.
That's all that stuck out to me in section 4. So I guess 5 and 6 next time.
We do that next
End of the month,
November.
November 30th.
Okay. American Ripple.
That's all I've got.
Is there anything else needs to be brought before the Board of Commissioners at this time? I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded, we adjourn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passed. Meeting's adjourned.